My name's Kristina, and I fully committed to veganism about a year ago, so 2022. Dabbled in it growing up, but never really knew how to get all the nutrients I needed. And once I started learning about different sources of plant protein and how to really get everything you need from plants, it turned out to be not that hard at all. The first time I was a teenager, I didn't really do it right. I lost a lot of weight and I wasn't paying attention to getting enough protein throughout the day, which unfortunately feeds the stereotype of, oh, vegans, where do you get your protein from? But where do you think the animal protein gets its protein from? At first I started looking into veganism for health reasons, but the more I learned, the more it became about the ethics as well. Once you're educated, it doesn't require that much effort. It's not super hard to put together a healthy diet based fully on plant foods. I would say this time around, I base my meals around getting a protein feeding. And if I am feeling particularly athletic or I'm in a stage of trying to build muscle, that's really important. Building your meals around a sufficient amount of protein to stimulate muscle protein synthesis is key. It might sound complicated, but I'm sure any omnivorous athlete is doing the same thing, just with different food sources. Right. For the average person who doesn't have athletic goals, they may not need to worry about getting as much protein as someone who's trying to build muscle. So yeah, really we don't need that much protein to survive. It really depends on what your goals are. You gotta look into specific foods. Tofu is a great plant protein source. I can't eat seitan because I have a gluten allergy. So it's lots of tofu. I think soy protein is great. Split peas, lentils. Yeah, there's plenty of plant protein out there. Of course, I would love for everybody to adapt a vegan diet, but there's a lot of pushback from certain demographics. But I think in this day and age, it's easier than ever to eat an affordable vegan diet. It might not be accessible to everybody just yet, but that's kind of a problem we're facing as a global community anyway. Yeah, I would love for everybody to look into it and just learn more. The more you educate yourself, the more you're able to have these conversations and try different things and find out what works best for your body. Because not every vegan diet is going to be the same. It really is individualized. So whatever you're eating has to meet your dietary needs. And I think that there's a way to do that with just plant-based foods for most everybody. I'm not a doctor or a medical professional, but I believe humans could get by on a plant-based diet. I would say a large portion of it is ethical. It just doesn't make sense to me that we would derive protein from other sources when we have all these plants. And the fact that we need to feed plant protein to the animals that omnivorous people are eating, it just doesn't make sense to me when we have hungry people in the world. As far as the health reasons go, I've never felt better. I don't feel like I'm missing out. I don't feel like it's hard to find things. The gluten allergy tends to be more of an obstacle in finding the right things to eat. Having to find food that's gluten-free and vegan is sometimes a challenge because a lot of places have one or the other. Or, for example, the other day we were at this pizza joint and they can make this pizza vegan, but their gluten-free crust has eggs. So, yeah, so I did not get a pizza.
That's weird because a lot of times when I go places I say, do you have any vegan options? And they're like, well, we got gluten-free. I'm like...
It's funny how that gets confused. They're so different. Eating gluten-free at home is very simple for me. I suppose I don't eat a lot of breads. I get my starchy carbohydrates from other sources. Going out to eat is when it can be challenging. I like to eat protein in the morning. I put protein powder in my oatmeal. I put a lot of fixins in my oatmeal. Sometimes berries, psyllium husks. Sometimes like PB2 is really good for oatmeal, or like powdered nut butter. It's defatted nut butter. So it gives a kind of a creamy texture, but then I'll usually want to add some fat source back in. So if it's not just the regular nut butter, it'll be a powdered nut butter plus a fat source like coconut oil. Lunch, I like to eat daring chicken a lot. I have kind of a processed vegan diet, mostly out of like convenience issues. So yeah, daring chicken and rice and veggies. And then I also eat a lot of tofu. So if daring was the lunch, then tofu will be the dinner. And vegetables and protein at every meal.
Now that you're so established in this, could you be with somebody who's not vegan?
I think that would be tough. My partner is vegan-ish or mostly vegan. But I think if I were to have a partner that wasn't, that it would definitely be a point of contention, or at least an ongoing conversation.
And some might argue you can't be mostly vegan Like you either are or you're not, right?
I suppose that could be an argument. However, veganism isn't really a black and white thing. It's really about doing the least amount of harm and living compassionately. So with all the products that we use, the cars that we drive, the medications we might sometimes need, it's really hard to be the perfect vegan. And I think striving to be the perfect vegan is not the best mentality, and also might push other people away from even being open to the idea.
Have you found any tactics that are useful for helping encourage others to do this?
Give them tasty vegan food to eat, and why would they ever need to look back? Yeah. I feel like once you taste good, nutritious vegan food, you have to question, why am I eating something else?
How often do you cheat now on your vegan diet?
Do I cheat? I don't think I ever cheat. I had an accident the other day because I didn't read the label thoroughly enough. It was a bag of chips from a brand that I'd only ever seen vegan food from. And yeah, oh, what a bummer to be halfway through that bag of chips, be like, I knew something didn't taste right. Because the longer you go without animal products, you know right away. Sometimes you can smell it before you even taste it. And yeah, and once that happens, that's another stepping back of like, whoa, people eat that? If it was a dire emergency, like it meant the difference between me living and dying, I suppose I would have to cross that bridge when it comes. I don't think that'll ever come, but.
And do you have encouraging words you want to share?
Eat plants.
And why are we here today?
I work for Danny and Giacomo. I do their vegan protein stuff. So I edit their YouTube videos and podcasts. I take care of some administrative duties. It's really been a great experience working with them. They have taught, shared, given me so much. It's really like opened my eyes to how easy this lifestyle can be and how rewarding it is. I'm helping support the team. I did some technical stuff with the microphones. Well, I mostly was here for the internal team stuff we did the week leading up to today, but it's great to see all the athletes, to see this many people come together who share a common mindset and a common passion and are also really badass athletes.
And do you have any social media that you want to throw out there that people can check you out on?
I do. So I've got a couple actually. So I'm veganproteins.Kristina, and that's Kristina with a K, for all the plant food related stuff. I'm also a music artist. I'm a DJ and bass music producer. So that's under Hexadevi, Hexadevi.
Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.